Hello, Mr. Justin.
Hello, how you going?
Wonderfully blessed, and a big, big, big congrats on The Order, a thinking man or woman's action thriller that is so scary because it's so relevant to this day.
Yeah. I mean, like I think you've sort of hit the nail on the head in terms of why I was interested in it. Is that even though it was a period film and it was sort of, set in another time and place, it said sort of a lot about the dangers of today, and there were a lot of sort of links there that are still kind of trailing through from those kind of pretty kind of dangerous events that happen.
Look, to be honest, I'm trying to avoid anything white supremacy because of what's happening in the world right now, right? But this movie sucked me right in. It's actually enlightening how what's happening now is a direct correlation with The Order, right? Do you agree? Talk to me quickly about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that I sort of noticed after I'd sort of read it was when January 6th happened after I sort of came on. And I was quite surprised that I would see some of the props from the Turner Diaries. There's a chapter in the Turner Diaries called Day of the Rope, and there were these sort of little sort of hanging nooses that were there outside the outside the Capitol building. And then someone was sort of seen sort of holding a Turner Diary book, and I kind of was quite shocked and amazed at how this sort of this book and this kind of doctrine had continued, and had sort of been has been sort of living in the shadows for quite some time. And this film sort of I guess explores the beginnings of that book, the beginnings of how people started to kind of use it as some kind of inspiration, and definitely looks into sort of the dangers of it. So that's probably the direct link in terms of what happened in the past and what these men were involved in, and how it's sort of continued through to today.
But I do love, though, that you mentioned. I mean, the film mentioned that it's really a fictional. The Turner Diaries is a fictional story that The Order is making like a true nonfiction stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love all the characters here, right? But even the amazing Nicholas Holtz. But Alan Berg is my favorite. He's the voice of reason here, I believe. I mean, at one point, he's talking about how America is great, but we're trapped in our minds. But at another point, he's asking us to be good to one another. In a way, I was thinking, I'm wondering if Justin is identifying with him and this is his voice. Talk to us about that, Mr. Justin.
Yeah, I mean, Allenberg was a really prominent and powerful kind of radio voice in Denver, but obviously sort of reached many people in America, and was one of the first. This is before podcasts. He was one of the first kind of talkback callers, and really had a very dynamic kind of dialogue and engagement with his kind of listeners. He was assassinated by the Order, by these men that felt as though his voice was against what they believed, and dangerous, which was a really horrific assassination, one of the first kind of domestic terrorist sort of attacks and assassinations towards an American citizen. So in the film, I think his words are directly related to the way in which we look after each other, and the way in which we sort of tolerate each other and listen to each other, from all sides of life. That is really the key for us to be able to kind of find some sort of common understanding of each other. So I found, in the script, I found those, really moving and a kind of real key to, I guess, a path he saw forward that is really important.
Oh, a big congrats on The Order again, Mr. Justin. One of the best films of the year, a great cautionary tale, and I hope people will listen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.